news from Knit Happens Teesside for the 16th week of 2025. There was a little less drama this week. There was only Helen and I at knitting, and Helen has ceased momentarily from the yarn curation and is now knitting the shawl again, and I think she's quite happy. But she's, you know, when you've got a 4-ply and a mohair lace and you've got to be very careful that you definitely get your needle through both stitches. Well, she kept spotting the odd one here and there, and I just think that rather than undoing it, she should probably just put a stitch in if it's glaringly obvious at the end of the day, at the end of the shawl being finished. Then maybe she could just put a stitch in. We went to Reeth, didn't we, to the threshing barn, and this is Helen's wheel. And the things that Helen bought. I am drinking absolutely stone cold proper coffee, but with it being proper, it's quite nice. Cold, it's actually okay. Jill didn't make it because she'd been to Beamish, which is kind of a open air museum with streets that are reconstructed from different eras, like the war era, and I think they've put some 50s things in. It's been quite a while since I've been. Now, while she was there, she saw this spinning wheel through a window. It looks like an old one and it probably doesn't work, but they do make good ornaments, don't they? Fee's in France. She's been to her local yarn store and had to resist the half-price Lang yarn. She did buy some though. I think this is what she bought. I was working on Halu by Caitlyn Hunter of Boyland Knitworks, who I think it's called Boyland Knitworks because she's got a few boys. Or did have, they might be men now. Now this is working out quite well, and I haven't tried it on, but I think it does look like it's going to fit nicely. Or did I? No, I didn't try it on. She does suggest steaming is good enough blocking, but I definitely think that this is going to need a good wetting, a proper wet blocking, because I did try to steam it and it didn't visually really look like it had made much difference. And I do need to fiddle with these bobbles because I don't know that. I mean, I was pulling the yarn to try and make them pop out, but some of them don't. Some of them do, some of them don't. Maybe I shouldn't have been pulling it. So these are the colours I'm on now. So I've got to do a few inches. So it's just straight round knitting, and it's kind of fortunate, isn't it, with how the colours have landed on the detail at the top. Going back to pink and like rust and lime, and then back to purple, but I don't know how far I'll get through them colours before I'm at the bottom. I think I probably will try it on at some point. I just need to put some more circulars through it. I was really pleased last week because we went to Redcar. There was another sculpture that I hadn't seen before. And then there was all this patterning in the ground, which was really inventive. Really effective. I mean, they weren't raised very much, but really effective. like a bit of street art. I found this needle in a charity shop, and you can see what's happened to it. I was over the moon because I found a knitting needle. It was a circular that was 50p, and it was a 2.25. Win, win, win. And then when I got it out of my bag when I got home, I'd managed to snap it. I was thinking though that you do get some needles where you've got a long end and a short end. I thought I could, I can't find the other end, but I could maybe sharpen it and then it'd still be usable. But it came in very handy because it's got my sleeve stitches on it, and then I've got one on the other side, so you can sort of like, I can see that this is going to be okay. So that was last weekend. I've told you about all the other people and what they're doing. I have been spinning this week. I really did manage to get quite a lot of spinning done. Just a few minutes here and there really, or I'll just pull off a strip ready to spin and just sit down and spin that, and then go off and do something else. I think that's the way to fit it in if you're very busy. Just set yourself a kind of target. So last week I showed you this skein, which I was really pleased with. So this week I've made this skein up, which was the rest of it. And I did find that because I've got my Lazy Susan, Lazy I was trying to get that right. My Lazy Kate is it's integral to the wheel, so it's in front of me. And I was having trouble plying and getting it to run through nicely without snapping. And I found that if I draw the yarn right behind me, because if you have a separate one you would put it behind you and then let it load on from behind, that was working better and snapping less. So something along them lines. I don't know if that's correct, but it was working for me. It was putting less tension on the yarn, I think, and letting it ply easier, ply better. So there's one or two knots, but you can probably see it looks like hand spun yarn. And are there rights and wrongs? I think if I can make something with it that I'll have to see how it knits up. If I can make something that looks relatively uniform, then yarn's yarn, isn't it? So it's not really even all the way through. And I tried to get it really even all the way through, so just need to keep on doing it, I think. So that's that for that. I am wearing Eyelets and Lace curved hem cardigan. First pattern that I downloaded. So it's eyelets, lace, curved hem. So it goes longer at the back, and we have eyelets at the back as well, and lace at the back as well, which is always nice, isn't it, to have some detail on the back as well, because a lot of shop bought jumpers and cardigans don't have. What I do like about this pattern is the flattering shape, and I've made it twice, and I really quite like the neck as well. So this is Peyton's Pompero, which is discontinued, but I did find some more online, and I've got some in my stash that I haven't made anything with yet. It's thick, warm, and behaves itself. It's gone a little bit bobbly, but I still like it. I like how this sits quite high, because it needs to keep, that's where you need to keep warm, isn't it? But it's got quite a nice wide neck on it, so I really quite, yeah, it's one of the ones that I really like, and I've worn a lot over the years. I've shown you everything except for, well, I can tell you about Daisy. Daisy's a lot more chill, a lot more relaxed. She's still a little bit anxious about whether there's a cat living upstairs in our house, because she sits on the sofa looking up the stairs just to see and wait, and she hasn't seen it now. Is it 2 weeks? 2.5 weeks? Or is it nearly 2 weeks or nearly 3 weeks? Anywho, the only other things I've got to show you are these. These are the next step in decorating my bathroom. I have a tray for this somewhere, and I have the paint, and I have bought some big rollers, and I just need the other half to find some bits and bobs in our garage, which will be quite an achievement. And it is bank holiday weekend this weekend, but I'm not bothered whether I get it done or not. I've done a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of cleaning, a bit of sewing. So, and that's work. I don't care when I get it done. It'll happen. I did finish decorating the bedroom. So I decorated that a number of years ago. Probably around the time that we weren't doing much of anything, I thought, right, I will decorate the bedroom. Which I did in this very dark, dusty kind of lavender colour called Bleaker, which was what's she called? That's discontinued as well. Abigail Ahern paint. I absolutely love it. But I had just taken a blind down, and there was holes above the bed where the blind had been, and I'd filled them, and then, well, they're quite high for me to get to. And I said to Tim, will you just sand them? Well, I asked him about 4 years later to sand these little bits. And he sanded them, and that must be at least 1 year ago, if not 2. No, I think that's within the last year. So there was just a strip here across the top that was the old colour, that really, like, you know, you'd sit in bed and go, must paint that, and then you come out of there and you forget, don't you? Totally forget. Actually, it's a bit like this kind of colour. I've got so much stuff in here. It's a bit like that kind of colour. It's not in your face, but it's like quite dark, sort of a grey lavender. It's like these kind of colours. So I thought I must finish decorating one room before I start another one. So it took me all of 5 minutes yesterday to finish the bedroom off, and actually touched up some other little bits as well while I was there. I'm off to Newcastle today, and I'm going to try and remember to video a beautiful arcade. I'm going to an old pub called the City Tavern, and that's quite an amazing building. So more news, maybe next week. Oh, what time is my train? Right. Well, yeah, not much drama in the knitting world, was there? But the real world, that was great this week. Oh, I haven't turned you off. Bye. Enormous. By the band of Hope Union, memory of Dr. J.H. Rutherford, 1894. It was a water fountain. It is no longer. This is a big party area of this is the big market, the bars and clubs of Newcastle. Onwards to the monument, I think. I think this is Granger Street. Not much in the way of street signs. Yeah, it's Granger Street. I'm just wondering about what nosh to have. There's a big Granger Markets behind all these big buildings. It's An old... I think I've taken you in there before on one of my previous videos. So Granger Street runs from more or less outside Newcastle Central train station straight up to the monument. Something to do with slavery, I think. Ending slavery? Should we check? I put it on before and I can't remember already. Ooh! Fancy a cheeky chin. Ooh, here I need to go. So that's the monument, and in this door there's something a bit nicer. Sock shop. Central Arcade. And that's it. So what have we got? A sock shop. A kind of sports shop. But look at this. Shame about the lights flickering. There's nothing here.
Have you heard of the Bible's, claims?
Yes.
Yes. Have you read anything about that?
I am reading something at the moment.
Mere Christianity.
Yes, he's not putting it down.
Yeah.
He's unpicking Christianity and different religions, and I have quite a lot of friends who live in America online who are religious, and I'm doing a bit of
I also
reading.
Nice. That is actually good. I am impressed with that, in that most people just don't want to be religious, don't want to read and find out about any other religion. It's an old book. But it's good.
Yeah.
In that, if you're looking at the evidence for Christianity, I went into most of the religions, read about it. It's not blind faith, right?
No, yeah.
I had to actually find out and make sure that if we are talking about eternity here, I had to make sure I got it right.
Right.
You get me? So
that's why I'm on the fence.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because I haven't done any research.
I have done massive and tons. Oh my goodness, you've met the right person. So I started from, I came back to, is there any God? Right? So is there a God? And then I looked at the evidence for evolution and atheism. Evolution cannot stand based on one massive argument. Intelligent design. Oh my goodness. It's in everyone's face. It was right there. Intelligent design will always defeat atheism. I wanted there so much for there to be no God, so that I can live my life anyway. But I couldn't look at the truth. It was there. Intelligent design.
Right.
like it's right there. Whatever you do scientifically, every cell of your body is a living miracle.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Good. So then, if there is a God,
nature.
Yeah. If there is a God, right? Then he has the obligation to reach out to us. So one of the religions that we have should be the right religion.
By the name of Jesus, who died on the cross and he rose again. And there's many, many things that we can turn our attention to even right now. But I want to make a declaration what Easter is about. Easter is a time where there was peace. Easter was a time where Jesus died on the cross and he rose again. Any proof in the blink of an eye, it's over proof. That's when the ball goes dark and fast, and you realise it's only the start. Purpose pick to the sin in your heart, to the lake of fire you will depart, cause dying your sin. You'll be panicking with darkness in your heart, just like Anakin, you can't move. What is happening? You'll just freeze like a mannequin, you can't move.
It's a scruffy mess. It's a really scruffy mess and I don't know what they're doing with it. Bricks. I might do a cheese toast. Just might have one of them. Food of the North. Cheese scones. Gingerbread men. Stotties. You can see how big they are. Tuna mayonnaise. Oh, no cheese and onion.
No, that's wrong. Never.
Oh, went to Oldham, got some yarn.